The subject of the hearing was no surprise to me. And as we seek to expand the court in the months to come, perhaps as many as 75 or 80 new members, it is certainly my hope, and I join with you in believing that the new entrants to the court will represent the best and the brightest, those who have prepared and are able to assume one of the most difficult jobs there is, and that is to fairly execute the Constitution from a position, lifetime position of great power. I will find some differences, and I believe our witnesses will show some differences, not in the goal and not in the benefit, but in fact in some preferences that I think people sometimes miss. Without a doubt, when we have community policing, we want to make sure that they represent the community they live and work in. And I specifically remind us that police and fire and others who live and work in a community tend to be extremely vested and, of course, familiar both with the people and the neighborhoods. When we seek a jury, as everyone on both sides of the dais know, the jury is often selected by an adversarial relationship of a plaintiff and defendant, that in fact each is trying to find a jury that most closely understands their view that they will argue for. What is different and I believe unique, and we will see today, is the role that the impartial individual who sits on the dais, sometimes with a background in as a prosecutor, sometimes in the defense, sometimes in civil litigation, very seldom, quite frankly, with specifics of what they will have before them, whether it's labor law, patent, or other criminal or civil prosecutions. And they have to be able to look to the law, but more importantly, they need to be able to look at both sides, listen to both arguments, and compare it with the law and the Constitution. I believe that we will show today that although the goal of more women and more broadly diversity, that we also recognize that we want to select going forward the best and the brightest and most qualified, and that there is no history at the federal bench of people making different decisions based on their economic position in life or their distinctions at birth, whether it's color or gender. So I am looking forward to us, and I really believe the chairman has picked an appropriate subject for us to look at when we're preparing to expand the court. But I also believe that we're going to find that properly chosen, these justices and judges will in fact execute in a way that cannot be predicted based on any part of their birthrights, if you will, of citizenship, of color, or of gender. Lastly, I'd like to put one piece of levity into this. I, for one, would like to see at some point more diversity on the Supreme Court. It appears as though you must go to Harvard or Yale to be considered in many cases. And as someone who graduated from an Ohio State University, I certainly would hope that we reach out and find justices that have gone beyond just a handful of Ivy League colleges. And with that, I appreciate the opportunity to attend this hearing and to participate, and I yield back.